Okay, good evening, everyone. How are you doing today? Good evening, online. Hi, Prajwal, Raghavendra, Leela. Okay, so hope everyone are doing good. Let's jump on. What did we discuss in our last class? IAM. So, quick shootout. So, do you all agree that IAM is used for security purpose? IAM is used for security purpose. And mainly we have two types of users. What are those? Root user and then IAM user. Who has full permissions? Root user. Who has limited permissions? IAM user. And how do you log into the root account? Email and password. Okay. How do you log into the IAM account? Username and password. And is it recommended to share your root email and password to others? No. And also, if you want to share your root account, then how do you share? Using IAM, creating IAM user. And for your daily activities, is recommended to use root account or IAM account? IAM account. And how do you secure your AWS account? MFA, full form. Multi-factor authentication. What is the app that you install? Google Authenticator. And then mainly, how many ways are there to access AWS? Two ways. What are those? Console access and then programmatical access. Console access meaning we will log in with username and password or email and password. And what is the examples of programmatical access? CLI. Which one is CLI? CLI SDKs. Okay. And in order to use programmatical access, what is the software that we need to install? AWS CLI. What is that? AWS CLI. And how do you authenticate programmatical access? Using keys. What keys are those? Access keys and then secret keys. What are those? Access keys and secret keys. Will you share the keys to anyone? How many maximum set of keys you can have? Two set of one key, and keys are visible only for one time. So if you lost the keys, it is lost. Can you get it back? No. Can you create these regenerate? But when you regenerate, you will get the new keys or old keys? New keys. And console access and programmable access both have the same permissions or different? Same permissions. Super. As usual. Very good. So this is what we have discussed. Let us go a little bit more forward on this IAM. Okay. So today let's talk about here IAM groups. What is that? IAM groups. Generally, what is a group? Normally, group. Bunch of people or collection of people. Bunch of people, we call it as group. Here IAM groups meaning collection of IAM users. Simple as that. Collection of IAM users. Now we have so many offline people here. Is a group or not? So you tell me, let's say for example, let us write some IAM users here. Okay. I created a IAM users. Let put some names here. Sudha, Kar, and Pooja, Priya, Aman, and here Mahima just joined. Okay. So we have these users. So for Sudhakar, what kind of permissions we'll give? Assume that we have given EC2. For Pooja, what we have given? Yes, 3. Change karo bhai. Okay. So for Priya, RDS. For Aman, IAM. For Mahima, admin. Okay. So remove admin. Give me one more service name. EFS. Okay, let's say EFS. Okay, so we have the IAM users here. Guys, I have given only one policy. Can we give multiple policies also? I can have multiple policies also here. Okay, now I have all this. Just imagine not only 5 here, I have 50 users. How many? 50 users. But I want to give, let's say, for example, Route 53 permissions for everyone here. So is it possible for me to go and give individually to every user, attach Route 53 or create a group? Yes or no? Let's say I have chocolates. Is it possible for me to go to individual person and give the chocolates like happy birthday? No, right? What I'll do, I'll keep it here and you guys can come and collect it, right? Group wise. So here also, instead of giving individual permissions, so what I can create a IAM group. So for this IAM group, what kind of permissions I need to give? What is the permission I thought to give? Route 53. So for the group level, we are attaching the permissions. How you are attaching the policies to the Sudhakar Puja for IAM user? Similarly, when you are creating a group, you can attach the permissions to the group also. It can be single permission or single policy. It can be multiple policies. Now create a group with Route 53 permissions. And what we do? Simply add all these users to the group. Add all these users to the group. See? So as I have added all these users to the group, and whatever the permissions that you have from the group, that permissions will get inherited or not? So for every user, Route 53 will get inherited or not, guys? Yes. No, you cannot group the permissions. You can only group the users here. But yes, as a just hold on. After some time, you can understand that. Okay, we have the topic for that. So can I create a group like this? Okay. And also, can I create another group called here admin group? Okay, let's say here, sorry, I have just said group. What's the group name? So let's say, for example, can I say this is AWS group? Yes, I create a AWS group and then attach Route 53 for it and add all these users to the group. And can I also create another group if required? Call it as admin group. Yes. Let's say I have two people here. Who is that? Lakshmi and then Esa. So for these two people, I can add these two people to the admin group or not? Yes. Now, how many admins are there now? Two admins. So like this, based on the team or project or department, you can group the people. Let's say I have developers. Can I create a developer group and attach all the developers to that group? And I can, instead of giving individual permissions to the group, I can have the group level permissions. Whatever the permissions that you have given to the group, that will get inherited to the IAM users. Got this point? Right? So what is IAM group? What is IAM group? Collection of IAM users. Say that. What is IAM group? Collection of IAM users. And so I create a group. Is it possible to create group under group? No, not possible. You just create a group and then attach the people to the group. But is it possible to create group under group, nested groups? Nested groups are not possible, remember. So group under group are not possible. So nested groups are not possible. Okay. So is it possible to attach multiple policies to single IAM user? And can I attach multiple policies to a single group? Possible, right? Remember, how many policies you can attach per user or per group is maximum 10. How many policies you can attach? Like for Sudhakar, how many policies are there? For Sudhakar, 2. So like this, how many policies you can attach? 10. So remember, for group and for IAM user, maximum policies you can attach is 10. So it is possible to attach multiple policies to the IAM user and IAM group. How many in a maximum? These are all certification questions, what I'm writing, okay? So can you add and remove the policies to the IAM user and group anytime? So there is a Kishore is asking, sir, policies and services are same question. So here EC2 is the, so hold on, Kishore, we have the policies topic coming in, you will get to know, okay? So you can add and remove policies to IAM users and groups anytime. So let's say, for example, for Puja, I don't want to give S3. Can I remove it or not? Yes, you can remove it. And also remember, if you attach any individual IAM users to the group, their individual permissions will be lost. Huh? No, right? Their individual permissions will be there. Yes or no? So here for Sudhakar, I have added Sudhakar to the AWS group. And Sudhakar already has a direct permission called EC2. When I add this user to the AWS group, that EC2 permissions will be lost? No, it will be still there, no? So I write that, if you attach any IAM user to the IAM group, IAM user individual permissions will not be lost. Group level permissions will be inherited. And another question, one user can be in multiple groups at the same time? Answer is yes. An IAM user can be attached to multiple IAM groups at the same time. Fantastic. Guys, why I'm putting this much effort and writing everything? Now you remember. Tomorrow you remember. After 1 month you remember. 3 months you remember. After that, do you remember me? You remember me, okay, good. But subject, you might remember, but you need to get the revision on a little bit. So whenever you open my panes, instead of just writing one word, I'm writing this entire thing. So if you just read it, everything will get revised automatically. For that reason, I'm putting this much effort and writing everything for you. Okay? You want me to write or put only one single words? Right. Right. Okay. Okay. You guys are sweet. Okay. Question for you. There was some question. Yeah. Whenever you create a new IAM user, brand new IAM user, by default, do you have any permissions attached? Obviously, no, right? So how does AWS know what kind of policy that you want? So whenever you create a new IAM user, by default, there are no policies attached. Okay. So for new IAM user, by default, there are no policies attached. Clear, Nana? So finally, can we say that IAM groups are used to assign policies to bunch of IAM users at the same time? This is another definition of IAM group. Okay. So whenever if someone asks you what is IAM group, you can say simply collection of IAM users, or you can also say that IAM groups are used to assign policies to the bunch of IAM users at the same time. Is it clear? Guys, instead of writing all these things, I can just write IAM group is equal to collection of IAM users. Enough. But why I wrote? Because these are all interview and certification questions. Okay. Super. So now let's come to the policies concept. So for Sudhakar has what kind of policy attached? EC2. Here you can call it as policies also. You can call it as permissions also. But I can say policies contains what? Permissions. Generally, what is policy? Usually, what does it contain? Terms and conditions, permissions only, right? So today, let's say police has introduced a new policy. After 11 p.m., no one should be roaming around in the night, right? So there's a permission. You don't have permissions to do that. Yes or no? Similarly, here also policies contain permissions, but many of the people, AWS engineers in IT industry, they mix up calling it as policy and also permissions. But actually, policies contains permissions. You can also call it as policies, or you can also call it as permissions. And these policies are written in JSON language. Which one? Which language? Policies. This is a perfect certification question. 100%. Policies or permissions are written in which format, Nana? JSON format or JSON language. Now you can ask, sir, policies are written in JSON format. No, do I need to learn JSON separately to write the policies? No need, guys. So no need to do that, because in starting days of AWS, I still remember, we used to hire a developers, those who knows JSON only to write IAM policy. The job of the developer is to write what? IAM policy, because he know JSON. But slowly companies, what they're doing is they are hiring these developers to write the policies itself. So later someone complained to AWS, hey, to write the JSON, we are hiring the developers, do something. We don't have that much budget to hire the developers. So for that, AWS came up something like, hey, from now onwards, you don't need to hire the developer. Anyone can generate the policy. How AWS came up with something called policy editor. What's that? It's a tool, right? Policy editor or policy generator. Say that. Policy editor or policy generator. So it's very funny. When you open this policy generator or policy editor, all parameters will be there in the GUI. Let's say, for example, name G1. I should remember, right? So let's say I created an IAM user called G1. And for G1, I want to give the permission, yes or no? What kind of policy that I want to give to G1, for example, IAM policy. Which policy? Is it good that I should give full IAM, full access for him? So whenever Jeevan has logged into my account, he should be able to only create users, update users, nothing else. Only create users, update users, nothing else. I don't want him to create groups. I don't want to add the policies. I don't want to do nothing. So these are all customized permissions or not. So all these things, create user, update user, delete user, all these things, parameters will be there. When you go to the policy editor, so we have read, write, all these things will be there. I'll show you later, right? You just need to click on tick, 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 tick. Whichever the permissions that you need, tick, 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 tick. So tick that and click on generate. Once you click on generate, automatically based on the selections that you have done, JSON code will be generated automatically. Do you need to write the JSON code by scratch? Do you need to learn JSON for this? Nothing. It's not a it's not a rocket science. Easily we can understand. JSON is all about key value pair. What is that? Key value. You have the something key and the value for it. That's it. Right? I'll make you comfortable when we go into the labs. We will write all the JSON code also. We'll try to understand, right? Okay, but for now, please try to understand. So all your policies are written in which format? JSON format. So AWS has policy editor or policy generator. These will help you to generate JSON code automatically. Now we are talking about the policies, right? There are basically two types of policies. How many types of policies are there? Two types. Number one, managed policy. Say that. Managed policy. And number two, inline policy. What's that? Say that. What are the two types of policies? Managed policy, inline policy. One more time. Managed policy, inline policy. Managed policy meaning what? See here for Sudhakar, what kind of permissions policies they have attached? EC2, right? So AWS will give you a predefined policies. He will give like this: EC2 either full access or EC2 either read access. That's it. What AWS can give by default? Either full access or read access. You understand? Full access meaning he can do anything. Read access meaning he can only read, he can see, but he cannot create, delete, update, nothing he can do. AWS by default, he will give only full access or read only access. These are called managed policy. What are those? Managed policy. So if someone asks what is managed policy, you can say that managed policy is created and managed by AWS. What is that? Created and managed by AWS. So AWS has a predefined policies already exist. What do you do? I create a username, IAM user called G1, and already predefined policies are there or not. So I'll select EC2. EC2 and EC2 types of policy. What are those? Full access or read access. Which one you want? Full access. I select it and then create it. Attach it. But I don't want to give full access to him. I don't want to give read access also to him. I don't want to give full access. I don't want to give read access. I want G1 only to create user, update users. That's it. Create users or update user. That's it. But is it possible to give manage policy for this? You diverted. See here again, guys. I told I created an IAM user called G1. For G1, if I want to give full access, can I select manage policy? Yes, manage policy has full access or read only access. Yes, but I don't want G1 to give full access or read access. I want only create user who update, only customize permissions. Is it possible for me to give manage policy for him? No. For that, I need to give what policy? Inline policy. Inline policy meaning created and managed by customer. We created and managed by customer is called what? Inline policy, or also called customer managed policy. What's that? Customer managed policy. So tell me, what are the two types of policies? Managed policy. What is managed policy? Created and managed by AWS. Also called as predefined policies. Next, inline policy. Inline policy meaning what? Created and managed by customer. Also call it as customer managed policies. Clear? Okay, see here. Let's say I created IAM user called G1. I created IAM user called what? G1. Or I created IAM user called, let's say, Pooja. Okay, Pooja is here. So now I create IAM user called Pooja. Now I'm writing a JSON code or JSON policy for her. I'm writing a JSON policy. Now I need to mention Pooja. Can I mention Pooja Pooja in JSON code? JSON will understand? No, right? Because JSON will say, who is Pooja? Because JSON doesn't understand Pooja. No. Right? And let's say I'm giving something to the group, IAM group. So in the JSON code, I write a AWS GRP. Will the JSON code will understand that word? No. For that, so AWS, for every AWS resource, to identify the resource in the policy, to identify a resource in the JSON policy, AWS has given something called ARN. Say that. ARN. Amazon resource name. Say that. Pakka certification question. Amazon resource name. For every resource, there will be a ARN. ARNs will be used in the policies. Where these ARNs will be used? ARNs will be used in JSON policies. So every AWS resource will have the ARN or not? AWS resources has ARN. So we use that ARN. So Pooja has ARN or not? Yes, ARN will look like this. Let's say IAM user ARN. It look like the ARN : which service IAM : blah blah something there, like user / Pooja. So this is how the ARN look like. See, so whenever you're writing any policy, or if you want to mention any user or group or any load balancer, anything, so you need to mention what? ARN. And another one thing here is, guys, I said ARN is the Pakka certification question. What is the full form of ARN? Amazon resource. Confidently will say now Amazon resource name, but in certification they will give the options like this. What is the full form of ARN? Option A, Amazon resource name. Option B, Amazon resource number. Option C, Amazon Ramya's number. No, oh, there is no Ramya here. Sorry, right? But definitely will get confused between number and name. How do you remember? Should I give a small tip to remember? 100% you will remember till entire life. In my previous batches also, after completing the last day, what's the full form of ARN? They'll say, sir, Amazon resource, name, sir, not number. Because I gave a tip, very fantastic, funny tip, see and tell. Let's say, for example, boys. Lucky is saying, sir, tell Ramya's number. That I'm coming to this point only. See, now you saw a nice girl. I'm complimenting. There's nothing wrong, right? You saw a nice girl. Will you go and directly ask number? What she will give? Big slap. Yes or no? So when you try, she will give the name or not? Which one is okay for you? Name or number? Name. Number meaning remember slap. This you need to remember in the certification. Amazon resource name or number. Number meaning slap. So you should remember what? Name. So what is the full form of ARN? Amazon resource name. Number meaning slap. Remember that. Okay. That was a little funny, but yeah. Yeah. So please remember that. Okay. Okay, Nana. Let's move on. So we have something called user-based permissions. Say that. User-based permissions and then resource level permissions. Say that. User-based permissions, resource. User-based permission is nothing but so whenever you give EC2 full access or S3 read access, overall you are giving, right? That is user-based permissions. Resource level permission meaning granular level or deeper level or customized permissions. What's that? Customized permissions. We call it as resource level permissions. Now tell me, user-based permissions will come under managed policy or inline policy? Fantastic. And resource level? That's it. Is it clear? So there is some. Is ARN is only used for identification or any other services? So mostly we'll go with the ARNs will go identified in the policies. Somewhere little bit we will identify using ARN also in some other services. But for now, Mahesh, please remember ARN will be used only now at the moment in the policies, because which is a service that we are learning now? IAM. Right? In IAM, what do we create? Policies. So in the policies, we mention what? ARNs. Is it clear to here? There is nothing here. User-based permission meaning overall permissions that you are giving. Easy to full access, read-only access like this. That's the managed policy will come under this. Resource level permission meaning particular granular level. Let's say I have created a user here. Let's say for example Priya. So Priya has RDS. I don't want to give full access to RDS. I want to give only particular few things in RDS. So in that case, what kind of policies I need to write? Inline policy. That is called resource level permissions. Oh, nice parrots, no? Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna teach you very important subject now. What is that? IAM roles. Online, everyone, are you with me? Sit properly. Hey, you, sit properly. On the bed, he's just lying on the stomach and listening. Sit properly, get up, macha. Okay. See, very, very important. Saida Babu. Sir, ARN, repeat. ARN, full form. Again, you say number, no? Name. Okay. So, Saida. So, Amazon resource name. For every AWS resource, let's say you created an IAM user, right? For IAM user, you created an IAM user called Saida. For Saida, there will be ARN or not? Yes. You created a group, there will be ARN or not? You create a load balancer, you only have ARN or not? You create S3, you have ARN or not? For every resource, there will be ARN. Why do we need this ARN? To identify in the policy. When you're writing IAM policies, if I want to mention load balancer, if I want to mention SAIDA, SAIDA, will it be identified in the JSON code? No. For that reason, if you put the ARN of SAIDA, then JSON will understand that. Okay? Babu, okay? Fine. So let me introduce this powerful topic, IAM roles. And this roles is not for only IAM, will be used in the entire AWS services. So for that, please concentrate. It's a little bit not important. It's very easy. I will make it easy. See, what is this? EC2 instance. EC2 instance. And this is what type of machine this is? Linux. Listen carefully. Huh? I have launched one EC2 instance, which is Linux. What is this? Linux machine. Linux machine. Okay. And from this machine, I want to access S3 or any AWS service. For example, I'm taking which service? S3. Tell me, from this machine, I want to access AWS service S3. So what I need to, what I need to install first here? Fantastic answer. What is that? AWS CI, yes or no? So this is what machine is this? Linux machine. And from the Linux machine, if you want to use AWS services, how do you use? Through command only, no? So for that, what is the software that you need to install? AWS CLI. What's that? AWS CLI. So AWS CLI you have installed. Okay. Sudhakar, I'll tell. Okay, wait. So AWS CLI. Now, how do you authenticate AWS CLI? Louder. Keys. What are those? Keys. Access key, secret key. Say that. Access key, secret key. So what I need to configure here? Access key, secret key. Okay, what is the command that we use? AWS configure. Using AWS configure, we configure the keys. Once you configure the keys, that meaning you have authenticated or not? From here, I can access S3 or not? Yes, fantastic. Okay, good. By the way, in order to log into the EC2 instance, what are the things that we need? First of all, we need to have instance, IP address we need, an instance, username we need, an instance, password. That is common. With IAM user, can you log into the EC2 instance? With IAM user, can you log into the EC2 instance? Answer is no. I told you IAM user is only to access AWS console and services. Can you log into the machine? No. So for that machine, we need to have instance username separate, instance password will be separate. I'll write for you here. IAM user is used to access AWS console and services, but not log into EC2 instance. Now you can say, sir, this is very simple, sir. Why you are telling? But after 6 months, you will start scratching your head like this. What sir wrote there? Huh? Okay. Okay, now. So the problem, I'll tell you here. See. So you have configured the keys or not on the machine? Bhayanak problem here is when you configure the keys on the EC2 instance, the keys are stored locally on the EC2 instance or not? And these keys will be visible for others, whoever has logged into the machine. Is it good? So configuring the keys on the machine is good or bad? Everyone, good or bad? Bad. So configuring the keys on the EC2 instance is bad. Why? Is it secure or not secure? Not secure. So you don't configure. If you don't configure, can you access S3 from it? No. If you configure, security problem. If you don't configure, you cannot access AWS service. How? You understand the concept? So remember, in my course, I'll give you the problem first and then solution for it. So the problem here is two problems are there. What is our end goal? We need to access which service? S3. So if you don't configure keys on the Linux EC2 instance, what will happen? Can you access S3 instance? You cannot access AWS services. Which service? S3, for example. If you don't configure, you cannot. But if you configure, what's the problem? If you configure the keys on the Linux EC2 instance, keys are stored locally on the instance, which is not safe and not secure. Then how? How do I access S3 then? Is the question. Then this IAM role will come and say, I am there, right? So IAM role will say that, hey, customer, if you configure the keys, hacker will hack it. Yes, no, hold on, right? Adat mein majboori bhai. Okay, that's why I have my sisters here this side. Okay, so fine. So if you configure the keys on the EC2 instance, hacker will hack it. Or not only hacker, any other user has logged into the machine, right? That keys can be easily visible or not. It's easily visible. But if you don't configure, you cannot access S3. Then how? Then what is coming to picture here? Roles. What is that? Roles. IAM roles. So IAM roles meaning here, the definition of roles here is temporary access without credentials. Say that. So if anyone asks you what is a role, you can proudly say that it's a temporary access without credential. Now see, let me relate this here. Do I need to configure the keys now here? No need. But without keys, you want to access S3. Without credentials, you want to access S3. What is this here? Temporary access without credentials. That meaning what is the thing that we need to use now? Roles. So roles, if you create a role, see, I'm creating a role here. Yes, Lucky. I'm creating a role. And then you create a role and what kind of services that you want to access from the machine. So for the role, what kind of permissions that you give to the role? S3. And that role, what you need to do is attach to the EC2 instance. What do you need to do? Attach. Create a role, give the permissions, attach to the EC2 instance. What kind of permissions you have given to the role? S3. Why you S3? Because the user want to access which service? S3. If user say, no, I want RDS also, then go ahead and here S3 comma RDS. And if you have whichever the services that you want to access, give that permissions to the role. And then finally, what you need to do? Attach. Say this. Attach the role to the EC2 instance. What is that? Attach the role to the EC2 instance. Create a role and then attached to EC2. Here, I have given an example of EC2, but role can be attached to any AWS service. But here, which is the favorite service now at the moment for you? EC2, right? So that's the reason why I'm using EC2 example. If I use S3, you don't understand. If I use RDS, you don't understand. For that reason, what is the example I'm using here? EC2. Create a role and then attach to the EC2. And let's say you attach it now. After 2 days, you don't want. What we can do? That's why I call it as temporary. Whenever you want, attach it. Whenever you want, don't want, detach it. Attach or detach. That's why we call it as what here? Temporary access without credentials. Do I need to create the keys here anymore? No. Without keys, I just install AWS CLI and then without keys, I'm accessing the AWS service. Okay, now here we have something called trusted entity. What's that? Trusted entity. Trusted entity meaning to whom you are attaching the role. To whom? To whom you are attaching the role? EC2. EC2 is a trusted entity. Permissions. What are the permissions that you are giving? S3 and RDF. That is come under permissions. Remember, whenever you're creating a role all the time, so we need to have trusted entity and then is permissions. Trusted entity and permissions. Let me give an example. You understood trusted entity and permission? Trusted entity meaning to whom you are attaching. To whom you are attaching the role is a trusted entity. And what kind of permissions that you want to use? That is permissions. If you understand that, let me give an example and you tell me what is there. Okay. Okay. Now, I have EC2 instance, Anna. What is that? I have EC2 instances. These EC2 instances need to be stopped automatically at the night 11 o'clock. How do you do? Very good. See how you are able to answer, right? Automation, meaning first what you need to get? Lambda. So in Lambda, what you create? Lambda functions you create. Okay, Lambda functions. Remember, two services in AWS will not talk to each other. Remember that. Two services in AWS will not talk to each other by default. Does the Lambda will talk to EC2 by default? We need to give the permission. We need to give the permission. So if two services want to talk to each other, we need to use roles. We need to use what? Roles. Remember, two services will not talk to each other by default. If you want to make to talk to them each other, what you need to create? Attach role. Now question for you. Whom need to talk to whom? Here. Lambda need to talk to EC2. So now you created a role. Now tell me what is trusted entity here and what is permissions here. Think. To whom you are attaching the role is trusted entity and permissions are permissions here. That girl answered. Think again. What is trusted entity here? Okay. It is very common that you have confusion for first day, no? First time, no? So lambda needs to talk to whom? EC2. Whom need to have what? So who need to talk to whom first? Tell me. Lambda need to talk to permissions. Lambda need to talk to EC2. Lambda need to talk to EC2. Role to whom I need to attach? Who need permissions here? Lambda need permissions, right? Lambda is saying, see now, tell me, I want to talk to Jeevan. So now I need to have permission to talk to him or not? Because I have work on him. This guy is EC2. I am Lambda. I need to go and talk to him or he will talk to me. I need to go and talk to him, yes or no? That meaning I need to have permissions to you or not. So if I want to have a courage, what I need to do? I need a role attached. I need to have a role attached. And I need to talk to whom? EC2. So permission is EC2. Attaching is to Lambda. So here role, you create a role, trusted entity is Lambda, permissions is EC2. To whom you are attaching is a trusted entity. You got this? You got this? Don't worry, this is only a simple example, but we'll talk about this later again and again. Okay? So, but you understand for now here? Oh, again, guys, we have so many things to learn. Okay. See, again, see here. So we have EC2 instances. Okay. And then we have Lambda. Two services will talk to each other by default. Yes or no? Mahesh? Moino? Sudha? So here, no, right? So to Lambda cannot talk to the EC2. So to make to them talk to each other, so what we need to create here? Roles. Okay, role we are creating. I am role we are creating. When you're creating a role, there are two things that we need to give. What are those? Trusted entity, permissions. So what is trusted entity? What is permissions here? Trusted entity meaning to whom you're attaching the role. Now whom need to talk to whom? Lambda need to talk to EC2. So you need to attach the role to whom? Lambda. You need to attach to Lambda. So trusted entity is Lambda. Now Lambda need to have permissions to which service? EC2. That permission is EC2. Understood? Understood? Huh? Huh? No? No? Yes, sir. Permissions. Okay, see guys. No. So who Lambda need to talk to EC2? No. Lambda need to talk to EC2. So the Lambda need whose permissions? EC2 permissions. That is the reason why permissions meaning here EC2. Right? And then here the trusted entity is Lambda. Don't worry about that, Netra. First, you will try to understand this. Keys will talk later. Again, I'm saying, okay. Okay, let me take one more example. Okay, see. Okay, let me clarify this because we have a project on that. Okay, so I have EC2 instance here. Again, same cinema. This EC2 instance need to be stopped automatically. So which service do you choose? Okay, na? Okay, step by step. Two services will talk to each other by default. No. So what we need to create? In which service we'll create a role? IAM. So you clicked on create role. You clicked on create role. In create role, when you're creating a role, it asks two things. What are the two things it will ask? Babu, what is trusted entity and what is permissions? Trusted entity meaning to whom you are attaching the role. To whom you are attaching the role. Whom need to, so Lambda is talking to EC2. So Lambda is having the work on EC2 or not? Or EC2 is having the Lambda work? Lambda is having the work on EC2. That meaning we need to give role to whom? Lambda. So to whom you are attaching the role? Lambda. To whom you are attaching the role? Lambda. That is called trusted entity. To whom you are attaching the role is called trusted entity. Okay. Lambda need to have what permissions? That will come under EC2. Okay, na? Now clear? Hmm? Online? Yes, exactly. Lambda is doing the performance on EC2. Okay. In EC2 and SEC, how did the EC2 become? What? Okay. So here, okay, there is a question here. Again, see here. Now this is the EC2 instance. Yes or no? Inside this EC2 instance, I'm maxing which service? S3 service. And then do I need to create the keys here? We don't need to create the keys because keys are stored locally on the machine, which is very bad, right? It's not secure. So in that case, without authentication, I want to access S3. So what I need to create for this? Role. And role, you created it. And to whom you're attaching the role? To whom you're attaching the role? EC2. And the user need to have access to which service? S3. The permissions will become S3. Trusted entity is EC2. Okay. Let's move on. So, but is clear now? Online is clear? So if you use the IAM roles, you no need to configure keys on the machines. We took, okay. And also based on the permissions that you have attached to the role, those permissions are available from the instance. Yes or no? Okay. So one EC2 instance can have how many roles attached? Role, not permissions, role. One EC2 instance can have only one role. One EC2 instance can have only one role attached at a time. But one role can be attached to multiple EC2? Yes. One role can be attached to multiple EC2 instances. And two services will talk to each other. Two AWS services will not talk to each other by default. We should use roles. And IAM roles can be attached to any AWS service or not? IAM roles can be attached to any AWS service. Okay. Here example, if lambda, if lambda wants to stop the EC2 instance, what I need to do for this? We need to create a role. Create a role and give permissions. Okay. In this case, what is trusted entity? Trusted entity. Trusted entity is lambda. So trusted entity here, to whom you are attaching the IAM role. Okay. And the next one here is what? Permissions. Permissions is for EC2. What kind of permissions role should have? That is permissions. Clear na? IAM. Everything, whatever we are doing, it is in IAM only. In the console. In the console only, we'll create a IAM. Okay, let me give one more example. You tell me based on your knowledge now. I have launched one EC2 instance, okay? This is the EC2 instance. And inside the EC2 instance, what I'm putting here now? Application. These applications, assume that this is Java application or it can be Python application, okay? Now, these applications need to talk to AWS, right? For example, there is a requirement that Java need to talk to which service, for example? Which service? Tell me one service. S3, yeah? Okay, take S3 only, okay? So this application need to talk to S3. By default, application will talk to S3. So in application, what I need to configure? In application, keys, very good. What is that? Keys, yes or no? Programmatical access meaning not only CLI, application SDKs also, right? So a Java application need to have what? Keys to be, access keys, secret keys need to be configured. But is it good to configure keys in my Java application? Anyone can see it, right? So now my Java application is inside the EC2 instance. So is it good to configure keys inside the machine? No, what I need to attach? Very good. Want to use here IAM role. Now carefully tell me what is trusted entity and what is permissions here. Trusted entity is to whom you are attaching the role. Application is in where? EC2. So that means trusted entity is here. EC2. Permissions. Thank God. Okay. You understand now, right? Clear? Okay. To whom you are attaching the role is trusted entity. Clear? Online is clear? We spent a lot of time already on the roles. Super. And also, let me introduce another topic which is very important. This is advanced topic. What is that? For this course, this is not at all required. But as I promised, after this course, you should complete solution architect certificate, which no one will give that. But the thing is, will you take that advanced topic or not? You'll take it, huh? Okay. Let's talk about that then. So we call it as identity provider. Say that. Or federation. Identity center. Read it. Identity provider, federation, identity center. Listen carefully. So, whenever we talk about identity provider, federation, identity center, the first thing that we get in our mind is one word. That word is, I'll tell you. The word is SSO. Say that. Full form of SSO. Anyone? Single sign-on. Say that. Single sign-on. How many times you are signing in? Single. I'll tell you where you are using. Every day you'll be using this. You know that? So let's say, for example, you are surfing internet and you landed on some website. And in that website, you want to use that website. But it is asking sign up. or log in with Google account, log in with LinkedIn account, log in with Facebook account. Yes or no? Have you seen this many times or not? So you are already logged in with a Google account, right? With the same Google account, you are logging to the new website. Do we need to sign up on the new website? No. So somewhere you have used the Google account. With that Google account, you are using the multiple websites. So how many times you have signed in? Only one time. So with single sign-on meaning only one time sign in, but you can use multiple services. Multiple services. You understand that? Understood, Anna? So for that, let me introduce one topic which is super, super important. To talk about the topic, first I need to tell something. Assume this is the company. What is that? What is our company name? Boom Company. Boom, boom, huh? Boom Company. Example. So this is my on-premises or not? Let's say this is on my on-premises. So in on-premises meaning I have a data center. Assume this is my data center. Inside this, I have so many desktop machines or not? Okay. Assume that I have a desktops. Carefully listen, okay? Desktop. I have only one desktop or multiple desktops? Definitely multiple desktops. So, okay. I have these desktops, these many. Okay, ma. Now, tell me, whenever you join the company, assume after a couple of months, you'll be joining the companies for sure sometime. Let's say you have joined the company. What is the first thing that you get? Thank God you didn't say the ID card. What you get? Think technically. You will get your email ID and password or not? Credentials. What do you get? Credentials. Okay. So you got your username and password or email ID and password. You got the credentials. Now tell me. Okay. So now tell me here. We have a user called here. Tell me one name. I'll use this guy. Huh? No, not Duha. Okay, Sudha. We have our Sudha, no? Sudhakar. Okay, I'll use your name. Shortcut I'll use, okay? He's very nice guy. Okay, Sudha is there. Now tell me, Sudha got username and password, okay? And he has joined this company. Tell me, guys, can he log into the first desktop? Okay, so let's say we have an admin here. Who is admin here? Let's say G1 is admin. G1, you are a admin, okay? Company admin. So what you do is, you need to create a username called here what? Sudha. Then only you can log into this desktop. Yes or no? Okay. Now, again, Karim came and Karim want to log into the second desktop. So what you need to do? You need to create a user here. So these users are called local users. Say that. Local. Like this Hema came, Aman came, Pooja came, Lakshmi came, all these people. So that meaning you need to keep on creating the local users or not. I have only here 5 to 6 servers, but in my company, I might be having 50, 100, 200 servers. Jeevan, will you able to go and create local users for each and every machine? No. Let's say now our 10 users want to log into the first desktop. That meaning how many users that you need to create locally? 10. And those 10 users, they want to log into all machines. What do you need to do? Create all 10 users in each and every individual machine or not? Is it good? Is it good? Definitely no. So is it good to create local users? Local users. Answer is no. Do not create any local users. So we need to create, we should not create local users, but where should you create the users then? Somewhere centrally, yes or no? Think about somewhere centrally. Somewhere centrally, we need to create a users. And this is the server that I create. In this, I will create all the users. And this server, we call it as Active Directory. Say that. AD. What is that? AD. What's the full form here? Active Directory. Super, super important. Which one is an active? So you have a server, which is, and also this also call it as domain controller. Say that. Domain controller. Domain controller. Wherever you have the Active Directory installed, that is called here domain controller. What is that? Domain controller. Okay, fine. What is my domain here? Boom.com. What is the domain here? Our boom.com. So where I need to create the users here? Here or not? So now I create a user called Sudha at the rate what? Boom.com. Next, G1 at the rate boom.com. So like this, I'll be creating all the users here. Yes or no? And these users are called domain users. What users? Domain users. These users are called domain users. Now I have created centrally all the users in one place. Now tell me, now Sudha need to log in. Can you Sudha now log into the first desktop? Initially, no, because these desktops are attached to this domain or not? No. So what we need to do? We need to join. What is the word I'm using? Join all these machines to the Active Directory. What is the word I'm using? Join to the Active Directory. Join, very important word. Join to the domain. What is the word? Join to the domain. Now, as I join to the domain, now tell me, can Sudha log into the first machine? Yes, because when he logged into the first machine, this request will go to whom in the backend? Active Directory. It will go to the Active Directory and ask, hey, there is a user called Sudha? Yes, Sudha is there. Password? Password. And when the Sudha is giving username and password, then only he can log into this desktop. But now Sudha can log into any of the machine or not? Whichever the machine is joined to the domain, he can log into any machine. Not only Sudha, whoever all the domain users can log into any machine in the company or not, provided that machine should be inside the domain. Inside the domain. You got the point here? And it uses a protocol called LDAP. Say that. LDAP. Lightweight, full form, lightweight directory access protocol. Say that. Lightweight directory protocol. Lightweight directory access protocol. So Active Directory meaning, what is the first thing that you should get in your mind? Which protocol is that? LDAP. Say that. LDAP. And Active Directory is a big ocean. It's a very big subject. And in on-premises, I also used to handle Active Directory. There is a big team to handle the Active Directory itself, right? But we should say thanks to AWS. Now, Active Directory is completely managed by AWS. What we need to create? Users inside it. Create user, add the EC2 instance to the domain. Create users. First, create an Active Directory in AWS. And remember, there is a service called Directory Services. Say that. What is the Active Directory in AWS? Which service is that? Directory. Remember this. Okay. Directory. Whenever I ask, what is the Active Directory service in AWS? Directory Services. Understood? So these desktops are nothing but EC2 instances. This Active Directory is nothing but directory service. So what we create an Active Directory in directory service and launch EC2 instance, and what we need to do? Join to the domain. And where do you create the users? In Active Directory. In Active Directory. Is it clear this point? We'll be doing a project on this also. Okay. Okay, Nana. See, now you know this. See, whenever you join the company will give the company email ID and then password. Yes or no? Let's say now, let's say for example, next to what is the name? Ajay, you were there. Okay, Ajay. So Ajay has joined my project. Let's say he joined the company. I'm having a AWS project. So Ajay got company credentials or not? Okay, he came to me. I'm a AWS manager here. Then Ajay need to work on my AWS. Can Ajay with his company credentials, can he log into my AWS account? No, what I need to create for him? I am user. So I need to have AWS credentials or not? That means this guy. Ajay need to have AWS credentials, then only he can log into log into AWS? Yes or no? Can he log in with company credentials to AWS? Answer is no. And yes. Now see, in my project, I have 3 different AWS accounts. How many? 3 different AWS accounts. Ajay joined my project. And Ajay want to access all 3 AWS accounts. How many IAM users I need to create? 3 different AWS accounts are there. How many IAM users I need to create? 3, obviously, right? Which one? 3. Because first AWS account, I am user. Second AWS account, I am user. Third AWS account, I am user. So I need to create 3 IAM users for him. And also he has company credentials. How many credentials totally? If I have 5 more AWS accounts, 5 more IAM users or not? So he need to manage a complete notepad for all username and password. Yes or no? Is it good to have these many username and passwords? Now what I need is, with his company credentials itself, he need to log into AWS account directly. That concept is called SSO. How we are logging from Google account to all websites? Similarly, with your company credentials, you need to log into the AWS directly. Do I need to create any IAM users here? No IAM users. No IAM users. And how do you do this? Using a concept called SSO. So now who need to be get connected now? Your company AWS is there. Yes or no? Your company in AWS need to be yes or no? Yes or no? Your company in AWS need to be federated. What is that? Where are your credentials in the company or not? Do you have any credentials in AWS? No, right? See here. This is a company. This is the AWS. Your credentials are here. General, by default, can you log into this with these credentials? No. First, these two need to be what? Federated. They need to do shake hands first. Hey, hi, hello. I'm AWS and I'm this company. What is happened now? Federated. Once it is federated, with the we need to do little bit configuration. With that configuration, they can log into the AWS account with the credentials, company credentials. You understand? Guys, do we have any company now? Do we have any company here? So that's why I said this advanced topic where I cannot do practicals here, but I can help you to do another type of practicals. Let me tell you that. Okay, first of all, your company meaning LDAP or not? LDAP need to be federated to AWS. First, they need to do this. LDAP in company establish connection with AWS. Then what will happen now? Active Directory users will log into AWS accounts without IAM users. Yes or no? This is how we set up. I just gave this for your more knowledge. So but the thing is, there are 2 scenarios are there. What is that? Scenario 1 and then scenario 2. The one which I told you is scenario 1. Scenario 1 is what? Company to AWS. Company to AWS. Scenario 2 is AWS to AWS. Scenario 2 is AWS. But I don't have time to explain you now scenario 2. But actually, we took a little bit more time on roles, no? That's why this got left. So don't worry. Tomorrow I'll teach about the scenario 2. But don't worry, I'll explain this again in tomorrow's class, and then I'll go to the scenario 2. So scenario 1, we cannot do the practicals, but scenario 2, we can do the practicals. How? We'll see in tomorrow's class. Okay? Little bit more, I said advanced. Advanced meaning little bit higher only. Okay? So again, see here, as I have 5 minutes, what are the topics that we have learned today? Groups is perfect. Groups is fine, no? So we have seen about IAM groups and the policies. How many types of policies are there? Two types. What are those? Managed policy and then inline policy. Managed policy and inline. But what is managed policy? Created and managed by AWS. What is inline policy? Created and managed by customer. What is the full form of ARN? Amazon Resource Name. I'll take. So, and ARNs will be used in the policies or not? JSON policies or not? Yes. And then mainly again we have learned about what? IAM roles. What is a role? Temporary access without credentials. Let's say when you launch an EC2 instance, basically Linux EC2 instance, how do you access AWS services? First, you need to install what? AWS CLI. Once you install AWS CLI, how do you authenticate? Using keys. But if you configure the keys on the machine, is it good to configure the keys? If you configure, it is not safe. It's not secure. Without the keys, without credentials, you want to access the AWS services. Then what will come into picture here? Roles will come picture. So now create a role, and to whom you are attaching? EC2. And from EC2, what kind of permissions that you want to use? S3. So trusted entity is EC2, permissions is S3. And for every EC2 instance, how many roles you can attach? One. And one role can be attached to multiple EC2 instances? Yes. Two services will talk to each other by default? No. What I need to use? Roles we need to use. And then again, we have discussed here identity provider, identity federation. Identity center, we will talk about tomorrow, right? I'll talk more about this one tomorrow in class, tomorrow's class. Whenever we hear about identity provider or federation, what's the first thing that you should get in your mind? SSO, full form of SSO, single sign on. Okay, so if you take in on-premises, right? In on-premises, we have so many desktops, users, servers, everything are there. So is it good to create local users? No. So for that, you need to create the users centrally in one place. Which place is that? Active Directory. What is that? Active Directory. If you have Active Directory on the server, what that server is called? Domain controller. And whatever the users that you create inside is called what users? Domain users. And which is a service in AWS? Directory services. And all the servers need to be joined to the domain. Once you join to the domain, with the domain users, can you log into the machines or not? They can log in. So here desktops, here nothing but EC2 instances. Here this one is nothing but here directory service. So this is the entire thing is the company or not? So what is the protocol that uses? LDAP. So this entire company need to connect it to whom? AWS. So first this company and AWS need to be federated. So company is nothing but here LDAP and we have AWS. They both need to be federated. Once they federated, with the company credentials, can you log into the AWS accounts or not? Yes. So this is which scenario? Company to AWS scenario. Tomorrow we'll talk about AWS to AWS. AWS to AWS scenario means nothing, Nana. So let's say if I have 10 AWS accounts. So how many, and I have G1. G1 need to log into 10 accounts now. How many IAM users I need to create for him? 10. Is it good to create 10 IAM users? No. There is a service called Identity Center. What's that? If you create a user in identity, so how we have Active Directory? In on-premises, similarly, we have Identity Center in AWS. All the users need to create an Identity Center, and then you need to give permissions to all the different AWS accounts. I'll talk about all these things in tomorrow's class. But is clear till here? Super. Online, any questions? Your question. IAM group. What is IAM group? Collection of IAM users. A collection of IAM users. Let's say I have created a user called G1, Esdane and all you guys. Okay. And I want to give permissions to everyone. Is it good to give individual permissions? No, right? I'll call all of you in one place. I'll say, hey, take these permissions. Right? So that is called here IAM group. Yes, you can, Kishore. Harish, that we'll talk in coming days. Okay, don't worry. Take the screenshots. Yeah. And the second. And the, mm. Services and policies are same. No, that policy includes services. Kishore, policies include services. You are giving the services names in the policies. All right. So can you hear the final CC for today online? So guys, before coming to the class, please go through. Yes, Srihari, we'll do that. Please go through the paints that you have took the screenshots because it will be easy for me to take the next topics. Okay. Which one? Okay. Okay. So that is all, guys, for today. Let's connect tomorrow with the next important topic. Until then, take care. Have a nice day. See you tomorrow. Good night.